Orono says.
Orono says.
Orono says.
Okay, wow.
Hello everyone, it's me, Orono, from Superorganism, I guess. Orono says, okay, wow. この番組では、俺が会ったことない人を呼んだりして、いろいろ話します。いろいろ。I don't know, play some music. I don't know, don't look at me. 今日のゲストは、前回に続き、大輔別府さんに来ていただいてます。どうも、こんにちは。
こんにちは。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。改めて紹介したいんですけど、大輔別府さんは YouTuber、映画コレクター、映画ファン
映画ファンですか？
映画ファン
YouTuber ですか？
そう
すいません
の方です。すごい面白い人なので、そう基本的に大輔さんの動画は全部英語なので、でアメリカとイギリスに住んでたんですよね。
あ、住んでました。はい、この時。はい、
そうだからなんかちょっとね、なんか共通点がすごくいくつかあるので、なんか話がこうどんどん盛り上がっていけばなと思っています。ということで、何の話だっけ？
あ、素晴らしい。でもいいですか？ちょっと一つ聞かせていただいていいですか？
何でも聞いてみて。
共通点って例えば何ですか？
だからそのアメリカに住んでたとか。
例えば特に例えば何について、じゃあ私もすごいなんだっけ、日本生まれアメリカ育ちだから、まあもちろん日本のこととかまあ知ってるところもあり、あと全く理解できてないところもあるので、まあ時々ちょっとなんか混乱 しちゃってる場合もあるんですけれども、まあアメリカに行く時とかはなんですかね、慣れてるっていうか、そういう気分になるので、小野さんは例えばどんな感じでまあアメリカの日本のなんですかね、まあ見方とか考え方とかになってるんでしょうかね。例えば。
I mean, my relationship with Japan is very complicated because I grew up like hating Japan, and I still like publicly say I hate Japan a lot. Which I feel like is it's a thing that's very different between us, because I feel like you're very polite and you don't try to be controversial or anything, but I like to say extreme things like I hate Japan. But yeah, I always felt kind of like out of place here, and like I didn't fit in, and I still feel that basically. And I think that's the core of it, because I feel like, people in Japan, they just as a society, I feel like try to put people into boxes, and, people are a lot more reserved, and I feel like being yourself is a lot less encouraged here, especially like compared to overseas and stuff, like the States. So, yeah, I just feel uncomfortable here a lot of the times.
No, that's very interesting. I think maybe if I can respond, I can sympathize with a lot of what you're saying. For example, I think how I communicate with others is I have maybe my thinking process is different when I speak, and I don't mean this in a negative or positive way. It just comes naturally like this, because the culture is in many ways different, especially in communication, and in terms of maybe politeness or like honorific or something, and the use of like san, or use of a special like verb conjugation or something, meaning we have to be polite, especially in certain social situations. So automatically my thinking becomes different. It's better or worse, I'm not saying, it's just different than how I communicate maybe in English with others. So I don't have a preference either way, but again, it's just I choose to live here, so I understand what is expected of me, but from a certain like societal perspective. At the same time, I understand, I can sympathize with what you say, definitely.
Yeah, like so I went to the States when I was 14, and I was so happy to get out of here, because my whole life I wanted to get out of here. And yeah, So I feel very weird being here. And it's kind of a weird thing that my band has found so much success in Japan because I never saw that for my career or, just in general, just me. So, like last episode, we talked about a little bit about, how, like what your thoughts and feelings are on how your videos are, do well in overseas and not so much here, or not like that, but a lot of your viewers are English speaking people.
Sure.
And like, I just like, I didn't think Japanese people would listen to my things or care about what I have to say. So it's very weird that I have a radio show in Japan right now. It's very weird because I feel much more myself when I'm speaking English. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So sorry, it's been like mostly English.
英語になってしまって申し訳ないです。
でもそうなんか英語の方がね話しやすい。
そうですね。本音言いやすいっていうか、言い出しやすいっていうか、そういう場面もあるかもしれないんですけれども、なんていうんですかね。本音言いやすいっていうか、自然に、なんか言いたいことは自然になんか言い出してくるっていう気持ち、すごいわかります、
日本語の方がルールが多い気がする。
ありますね、ルールもあるし、あとなんていうんですかね、もし失敗しちゃったらどういう反応が出てくるのかちょっと、正直時々ね、怖いんですけれども、怖い、怒られたらちょっとどうしようかなちょっと時々思っちゃったりするんですけども、まあ仕方がないですね。
仕方がない。でもそうだからでも結局でもそういう結局今こう話せてるのはこう自分が今日本でこの TBS でラジオできてるから大輔さんと話してるっていうのもあるから
そうです
最終的に言うとすごい感謝してるけど it's a complicated thing.
It's complicated.
It's very complicated.
Oh wow, it's complicated.
Oh wow, it's very complicated. Anyway, that was a very deep chat. What do you think, Elliot?
I think it's really sweet. Very sweet.
Cool.
Well, I just want to get more into it. I'm curious about you growing up in America and then coming back to Japan.
Yes.
What that experience must have been like.
I see.
日本で生まれてそのアメリカでちょっと育ってまた日本に戻ってくるっていうのはどういう感じだったのかすごい気になる。
ありがとうございます。Thank you for the question.
You can respond in English.
Oh, thank you. So I think maybe, so I also can say that my maybe relationship with Japan and my relationship with the United States is not without complication. So it is also somewhat complicated, but that's okay. So while I love certain aspects of my time in, say, the United States, at the same time, it was sometimes unhappy. And, maybe I had some run-ins with kind of maybe kind of slightly racist or sort of unpleasant attitudes. Not always, not everyone, but once in a while. And so I think especially when I experienced that, it was when I was maybe a young teenager. So that meant that I was very sensitive. And I think I took it to heart more strongly than I should have. So while I like America and certain aspects very much, there is some part of me that feels actually a little bit out of place when I'm living in the States. And that's not 100% like that, but maybe, I don't know, maybe 20% or 30%.
It's maybe there.
It's a little bit there. So I don't feel wholly at home. I feel very much at home, but not 100%. So now I decided to move back to Japan, and now I'm living here, and I have a family, and I work here, and I enjoy myself very much. So I enjoy Japan very much. I want to know more about Japan, but I understand that I have many things I don't know about Japan. I wasn't directly educated here, for one thing, and so I don't have the close connection with Japan as, say, people who live here for all their lives would. Maybe Orono, you may know that, or you may understand when I say that. I think in Japan as well, there's a sense of like I don't mean this in a bad way. There's a sense of like a collective, and so if one person or something comes up, everyone will know about it, more or less. It's kind of SNS, or it's maybe culture, or some new thing in Japanese language, or some cool hayari or something.
Yeah.
So that will come up. I'm always behind the times with that. I don't know what that is, and when it's something new or hip, I can't keep up. Like I remember there was the Japanese word a long time ago. Now, I guess a long time ago now. To me, it's not so long, but it's dondake. There's this Japanese phrase called dondake, and everyone was like, oh, dondake, or it was a big hit in like TV personality. I had no idea what this meant. I was thinking, what does this mean? Dondake? What does this mean? Tell me. And I was asking my friends, what does this mean? Dondake? どういう意味ですか? どんだけ教えてくださいって言った。I said this to my friend, my Japanese friend. No one could explain this. Oh, どんだけ is like this. すごい曖昧な説明しかなかったので。I didn't understand what it meant. And that wasn't anyone's fault. It was just kind of hard to explain. But it was something that I wanted to kind of learn, but I didn't know. So that was an example of where I wanted to know, but I felt a little bit out of place. And it's the same thing too, which is that kind of pace or rhythm. And people, oh, I know this, or I understand this, or I remember this from, like local food or local cuisine. I don't know, this is very famous in this part of Japan. That is I cannot keep up with that conversation. And so whenever that conversation comes up in casual chat or nomikai or something, I'm very silent. I'm shy. I cannot. I'm quiet. But the group is very engaged with that. So when it comes to this kind of feeling, I feel like an outsider in Japan, as an example. So I feel I know America more, but maybe due to certain circumstances, I still feel like an outsider there. When I come to Japan, I want to feel like I'm included, but no matter what, there will be times when I cannot be included. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say no man's land, but it's sometimes I don't feel 100% at home here. I don't feel 100% at home in America, but that's okay. That's completely okay. So, I don't have to, I think it's kind of rare maybe to feel 100% at home anywhere anyway. And it's okay to feel out of place for a little bit. I think that's very, of course, if you feel out of place like 90%, 100%, maybe it's a consideration to move. And I felt that way in my life many times. But I feel not 100%, but I feel reasonably comfortable living here. And whenever I go back to the States, same thing, but I feel reasonably comfortable there. It's not 100%, but it's very acceptable. And again, that's not anyone's fault. That's maybe more my fault than anyone else. I have to learn a bit more. I have to be a bit more flexible, and I'm not. But 仕方がない. C'est la vie. Oh well. So, I'm not unhappy. I'm very happy where I am. Although I admit, once in a while, I do feel out of place. Yes. っていうことです。
Wow, that was a lot.
Thank you for that answer.
ごめんなさいね。なんかこういう話になってしまって。すみません。すごい。
Yes, でも結構ね多かったからどこから始めればいいかわかんないんだけど、なんだろう。その日本とアメリカ両方でもなんかフィットインしないっていう気持ちがあるんですよね。
そうです。100%フィット感があるわけないんですよね。いずれも。
多分ねそのバイブスがなんとなく大輔さんの動画を見て受け取ったんだと思う。自分もそういうところがあるし、A lot of my closest friends are kind of outsiders, and they grew up in two different places and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool. And also I wanted to say about you, like not knowing what the trends are and stuff and not being on top of that. I think that's exactly why you're so cool, because you're just yourself and you like the things that you like and you don't pay attention to the trends. So I think that's very cool.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. I'm very happy. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
嬉しいな。
どうしよう
ありがとうございます。どうしよう。
どうしよう
どうしよう。